Imagine this. You've planned for months, maybe years, to visit Muir Woods. You want to stand beneath those ancient redwoods to feel small in the best way. You drive up, excitement building, but at the entrance there's no ranger, just a sign closed due to a lapse in appropriations. This isn't a movie. It was reality on October 1, 2025. A government shutdown, triggered by political gridlock in Washington, slammed the door on one of nature's cathedrals. A lone ranger stood, not to welcome, but to turn people away. They suggested other parks, but for those who came from Muir Woods, it was crushing. The usual awe was replaced by confusion and frustration. Cars arrived, hope faded, and disappointment was written on every face. Families, couples, solo travelers, all had their plans derailed. It's a strange feeling, being locked out of the outdoors. It's like someone put a gate on the ocean or a lock on the sky. This wasn't just a locked gate, it was a broken promise. These parks are national treasures, meant for everyone. But on that day, politics got in the way. The majesty of the Redwoods was replaced by the silence of an empty parking lot. Only the ranger's apologetic voice and the sighs of disappointed visitors broke the quiet. It was a stark reminder. These beautiful places are more fragile than they seem, and their future depends on choices made far from the forest. The stories from that day are heartbreaking. Amelia Le Cabotet, a tourist from Hong Kong, summed it up. It was heartbreaking. She'd dreamed of California's parks, only to be stopped by a political gridlock she had nothing to do with. It wasn't just international visitors. Americans like Guinness Smith and her mother, who traveled from Chicago and Utah, were turned away too. Guinness said it best. The outdoors should be open. These spaces feel like they should be above politics. To find them closed feels fundamentally wrong, like a basic right has been taken away. Picture it. Families pull up, kids excited, parents ready for a peaceful walk. Then, disappointment. Plans ruined, explanations needed, vacations soured. These personal stories put a human face on a big political issue. It's not just a headline, it's a mother and daughter's trip disrupted, a dream vacation dashed, the collective sigh of dozens who just wanted a taste of nature's beauty. Their frustration is a direct result of decisions made by people who may never hear their stories. And that's a real shame. These moments matter. They remind us that parks are more than land. They're memories in the making. When the gates close, it's not just nature that's locked away. It's the experiences, the connections, the wonder. And that loss is felt by all. You think a government shutdown means all national parks close, right? Not so. What happened was a confusing patchwork. Some parks fully closed, others partially open, some almost normal. Muir Woods? Fully closed. Fort Point and China Beach? Same story. But at Point Reyes you could enter, but bathrooms and parking lots were locked. Stinson Beach and Muir Beach? Open, but with no services. Alcatraz Island and the Presidio? Largely accessible. The result? Chaos for visitors. No clear message, just a scramble to check news and social media for updates. Planning a day out became a guessing game. Do you risk the drive, not knowing if you'll get in? This inconsistency frustrated everyone, visitors and staff alike. A lack of unified policy trickled down into confusion on the ground, and it left everyone wondering, who's really in charge? Keeping parks partially open might sound like a compromise, but it's risky. When staff are sent home, parks and visitors are left vulnerable. Over 40 former superintendents warned, parks don't run themselves. Without rangers, maintenance, or emergency responders, safety plummets. If someone gets hurt, help is far away. At Point Reyes, no rangers means no warnings about sneaker waves or unstable cliffs. It's not just people at risk, parks suffer too. No one to enforce rules means trash piles up, wildlife suffers, and fragile landscapes get damaged. Illegal campfires, off-road driving, and littering become real threats. The rules exist for a reason, to protect both visitors and the park. Remove the staff, and you gamble on perfect behavior from every visitor. A bet history says we'll lose. The risks are real, and the damage can be lasting. Parks need protection, not just open gates. Otherwise, we risk losing what makes them special. Want proof of what can go wrong? Look at Joshua Tree during the 2018-2019 shutdown. The park was left open but unstaffed, and chaos followed. Trash and human waste piled up, creating health hazards. People drove off-road. tearing up fragile desert soil and crushing plants that take centuries to recover. The worst? Some visitors cut down Joshua trees, iconic, irreplaceable, and hundreds of years old. It was senseless vandalism, a scar on the landscape. Local volunteers stepped in to clean up, but they shouldn't have had to. The burden fell on the community, not just the park. Joshua Tree became a painful lesson. Without staff, our natural treasures are at risk. The damage was real, and some of it permanent. Parks need more than open gates. They need guardians. Otherwise, we risk losing what can never be replaced. The lesson is clear. Protection matters, and the cost of neglect is far too high. Visitors weren't the only ones caught off guard, so were park staff. Final shutdown instructions arrived with less than a day's notice. Imagine being responsible for millions of acres, then told to lock it all down overnight. Only a handful of essential staff stayed, everyone else was sent home. The scramble created stress, uncertainty, and fear. Staff worried about paychecks, projects, and the parks they love. Communication was poor, and some feared retaliation for speaking out. It's no way to run a national park system. Dedicated employees deserve better. Clear plans, respect, and time to do their jobs safely. Instead, they were left powerless, undervalued, and rushed. Our park stewards deserve more than chaos. When parks close, it's not just trails and views we lose. Science stops too. Researchers are sent home, and critical data collection halts. Decades-long studies are interrupted, leaving permanent gaps. At Channel Islands, 40 years of monitoring kelp forests and sea lions was disrupted. These data aren't just numbers, they guide conservation and policy. Miss a few weeks, and you can't go back to fill in the blanks. The result? Weaker science, less informed decisions, and a poorer understanding of our ecosystems. It's like trying to finish a puzzle with missing pieces. Science is how we protect these places. Halting research is short-sighted, and the consequences can last for years. The quiet crisis of lost knowledge is one we can't afford. The impact of a shutdown ripples far beyond park boundaries. Small towns built on tourism, bookstores, coffee shops, motels, suffer instantly. When the park closes, the flow of visitors and money dries up overnight. For many, the park is the town's lifeblood. A shutdown is like an unexpected winter in the middle of the busy season. Hotels empty, shops lose customers, and local workers feel the pinch. In remote areas, the hit is even harder. There's little else to fall back on. The economic pain is real, affecting waitresses, clerks, and shop owners. Parks and towns are interconnected. When one suffers, so does the other. It's not just about missed vacations, it's about livelihoods. Decisions made far away have real consequences on Main Street. A single locked gate can trigger a chain reaction of loss. The cost is measured in more than dollars. It's measured in community. The message from former superintendents is clear. This is no way to treat our national treasures. Leaving parks in limbo, unstaffed and unprotected, is a recipe for disaster. Joshua Tree showed us the risks: irreversible damage, confusion, and loss. We need clear, consistent plans for shutdowns, so staff and visitors know what to expect. Parks aren't just attractions. They're classrooms, sanctuaries, and living museums. They need steady funding and protection, not political games. These places are investments in our future and our well-being. The closed gate at Muir Woods should be a wake-up call. We must support our parks, listen to the experts, and demand respect from our leaders. Because as Amelia from Hong Kong said, there's nothing as beautiful as these parks. Let's make sure the next time someone travels across the world, the doors are open. Our parks deserve nothing less. And so do we.